Panic? Who said panic? It's the end of the f***ing world! Yo, what's the crack, my happy face pullers? Your host, Steve Talks, certified personal trainer trying to change people's lives for the better through strength and fitness. So, it seems like we are officially in a lockdown. State of emergency! Everyone is home due to this very contagious disease that is going around the world, wreaking havoc. We are going to be very limited in the next few weeks as to what we can do in terms of training. Many of you might even feel a little bit anxious about the whole situation because you're not going to be able to go to the gym, and the prospect of you losing all your hard-earned gains is driving you, well, a little bit mad. I'm gonna shrivel into nothingness! I'm getting smaller already! I can feel it! Anyway, I'm gonna be releasing as many home-based workout videos as I possibly can in the next few weeks so you can stay on top of your fitness game until we pass this bump on the road. In the meantime, please check out this series I made last year where I show you how to get in a decent workout with minimal equipment or your own body weight. I think it could be of great value to you given the circumstances. Alright, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you find this video helpful, and let's get to work. Extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures. I'm ready for the quarantine. Bring it on! You moron! That is not gonna do for ya. I can't stress enough how important the warm-up is going to be for this particular workout. More specifically, the muscle groups around your shoulders are going to be presented with high intensities from the get-go, so make sure that you pay special attention to that area. Another part of your body you should be extra careful about is your wrists. We're gonna be doing some serious pushing type movements here, guys and girls. Alright, let's kick things off with elevated pike push-ups. If you're more of a beginner trainee and you find this movement extremely difficult, if not outright impossible, hang with me for a second as I'm going to show you a couple of regressions later on in this video so that you can follow along. Be responsible. Stay home. Please beware, I have done this exercise many times in my training career, so I have a good control of my body through this range of motion. But if you've never done pike push-ups before, please do not attempt to tap the floor with your nose like I'm doing in this video. Stop about an inch away from the floor the first time you do it. For this first exercise, I want you to be working within a 5 to 10 repetition range. We're looking for some muscle gains here. Your anterior delts, triceps, upper chest, and upper trapezius are going to be the primary movers in this exercise. Now I'm going to give you a couple of tips so that you can perform pike push-ups more efficiently from a biomechanical standpoint and thus get in more reps, which in turn leads to further muscle and strength gains. First, your body doesn't travel in a straight line, but with an angle. In other words, you have to lean forward slightly when you're coming down and then push back up in the exact same angle. That way you're clearing your head out of the way, which allows for a longer range of motion, and thus your upper chest is going to contribute a little bit more at the bottom part of the movement. Second, in order for you to push the floor in the most advantageous position, your forearms should be perpendicular to the surface at the bottom part of the movement. And third, push through your head at the top of the movement to bring scapular elevation in the mix. By adding this extra inch of range of motion at the top, you're gonna make sure that you engage your upper trapezius more effectively. Make them pop, baby! Okay, let's move on to clear signs that this exercise is too hard for you. First, you can't complete more than 3 repetitions with proper form. Second, your reps look shaky and your arms are trembling right from the start. And third, you have sticky points throughout the range of motion. If you feel identified with any of these descriptions, don't worry. Drop your ego and pick an easier version of the pike push-up. There is nothing wrong with that. As promised, these are the 2 regressions you can use if the elevated version is too hard for you. You can either perform pike push-ups with your feet planted on the floor. That way you'll be working with a smaller percentage of your body weight as the load to move, whereas the easiest alternative would not include any movement per se, but rather a prolonged isometric time under tension in the top position while you're actively pushing against the floor. Babbling about pike push-ups for the last minutes has made me really thirsty. The second exercise continues to take advantage of the elevated surface. Non-alternating rotational planks are next on the menu. This exercise could be quite the wake-up call for many of you given how core-intensive this movement is. Because this is the close kinetic version of a horizontal abduction type of movement, your hand has to be fixed to the floor, which means that it is the rest of your body mass that has to move across space. If you've never done this movement before, I would advise you to try the easier version the first time you do it, with your feet planted on the floor. If you manage to perform 10 to 15 non-alternating rotational planks with a controlled tempo, just like I'm showing you in this video, the time under tension you'll end up accumulating is going to be very substantial. I'll spell it for you. DOMS. Your legs will feel like you've done a set of 100 pull-ups the day after. One tip I would like to share with you is to use your feet to initiate the rotational motion. Pivot your feet through your toes. That will help you a lot. If you're not in a position to complete more than 10 reps of this exercise, it's okay. Scale back the intensity by placing your feet on the floor. If this regression is still too hard for you, then alternate sides after each repetition. That is going to allow for a quick breather, a quick break for the arm that is not touching the floor in that particular rep. And lastly, we're gonna finish off this quarantine session with a little bit of conditioning and metabolic stress for the lower body. The first exercise is alternating step-ups. Nothing really complicated about it, but please make sure that you use your arms to also work on coordination, which is an aspect many people tend to neglect in their training. Once you finish the step-ups, move on to alternating reverse lunges. We're going to double the repetitions you just did in the previous exercise. One thing I'm going to be very strict on is the position of your arms here. Do not place your hands on your legs. Let's make lunges more athletic while we keep working on coordination with our arms. Let your core do what it's supposed to do. Stabilize. Now you're wrapping up 60 alternating reverse lunges, and now you're going to move on to 120 bodyweight squats, which is double the number of reps you just completed in the previous exercise. This could be many repetitions for someone who is relatively new to training. I'm fully aware of that. So feel free to scale back the total volume of this conditioning section as I'm showing you here. Level 1 would require the least amount of volume for a total of 70 repetitions. Level 2 would be in the middle of this spectrum, where you would have to complete 140 repetitions total. And level 3, which is the level I'm demonstrating in this video, would have the highest number of repetitions, 30 plus 60 plus 120, for a total of 210 repetitions. Make sure that you keep breathing as you go, and feel free to take a quick breather whenever you must. Everything will be over before you know it. And enjoy the ungodly pump in your lower body afterwards. This is what metabolic stress / conditioning is supposed to feel like. Congratulations, you made it. Well, there you have it. If you survived this workout, the disease, and the nuclear disaster I just created in the restroom, you probably belong to this world. I really hope you liked this video. This is the moment where I would usually ask you to give me a thumbs up, to support the channel, subscribe, and all that stuff. But what I would like to do instead is to call upon your good judgment to stay calm, wash your hands thoroughly and frequently throughout the day, and follow the recommendations given by the authorities in your country. Stay home. All my support goes to the doctors, nurses, and hospital staff working 24/7 to look after us. Thank you very much. As citizens, we're going to play our role in this crisis and stay home.